everyone, how you doing today? My name's Eric. As always, I want to thank you for coming by to check out my video today. On this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to show you how to make sous vide steak and shrimp cocktail. Now it's Memorial Day weekend, and what my local grocery store had on sale were these New York steaks and frozen uncooked shrimp. And you know what? I haven't had the little surf and turf combination in a long time, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to treat myself and my family to some good food. And cooking at sous vide, it guarantees that you're not going to waste money and overcook it. Because, you know, shrimp is very delicate. If you overcook it, it turns chewy and tough. Same thing with the steak. If you overcook a steak, it's just horrible. So I'm going to show you how to cook these things perfectly using the sous vide method to guarantee you're going to get perfect results. So stick around, guys. I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. Let's get cooking. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is prepare the shrimp, mainly because I want these to cool down for a few hours in the fridge. And it couldn't be easier, guys. Like I mentioned, I got a 2-pound bag of uncooked shrimp. If you can get the peeled and deveined one with the tails on like these, perfect for shrimp cocktail. As far as size, I'd recommend the 16 to 20 per pound. You can even go larger, but these are perfect. You don't want them too small for the shrimp cocktail. So what we're going to do here, these are completely frozen, but that's fine. I'm going to let them hang out here on the kitchen counter while my sous vide bath heats up. We're just going to add another 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes to the cooking time, which will guarantee that these will be perfectly cooked. So I have 1 teaspoon of regular old salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm just going to lightly sprinkle the shrimp with this combination. The baking soda kind of helps the shrimp maintain its crispness or its sharpness, I guess, when you bite into it. So it gets a little, it's not going to get all soft. So just like this. And then I'm going to turn these over here. Gotta shake it around a little bit. I'm going to put this aside. Let me grab my container for the sous vide bath. Be back in a minute. Alright, so this is how I'm going to cook them, guys. I got a couple 1-gallon freezer bags. It looks like around a pound of shrimp. I had to do 2 bags here because I don't want it to crowd 1 bag. And I have some lemon slices and a couple tablespoons of butter in each one. And then I got like a little quarter slice of lemon. I'm going to just squeeze that juice in each bag. Throw the whole lemon in there. It's not going to hurt anything. Just want a little lemon juice for this to kind of cook in, just like so. I'm going to seal these up. I'm going to try to squeeze as much water, or air I should say, out as possible. We'll leave a little opening so I can get the rest once I submerge it underwater. And now we're just going to wait for our sous vide bath to be completely heated up. We're heating it up to 137, so it should be ready to go in a few minutes. See you guys in a second. Alright, so my sous vide bath has reached 137 degrees. Now normally I would cook this anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. Since these are still pretty frozen, I'm going to go for 40. You really don't want to go any higher than 40 just because you're going to, at that point, overcook the shrimp and they're no longer going to be kind of the consistency. They're going to get a little mushy, so just be aware of that. So like I said, try to squeeze as much of the air out as possible. And then very carefully, easier said than done, we're going to push these under. And as you push them under, it's going to force some air out. I don't have a big enough hole for that air to come out. Let's see if I can get it all out. There we go. Shrimp is really hard with sous vide just because it is so lightweight. So let me see if I can seal this up. And you're probably going to have something to hold the shrimp down. Let me quickly clamp this. Same thing with the other one. We'll clamp that one. And we want to kind of keep this underneath the water line. This is where it becomes somewhat of a challenge. I take something heavy like a spatula or something And we're just going to kind of use the weight of it to hold everything down. And like I said, easier said than done. This is where you got to get creative. I know they sell these weights you can buy that you put in the bag. Is that good? I'm going to keep continuing to maneuver this. Like I said, 40 minutes. Let me start my timer. Alright, we'll be back in exactly 40 minutes, guys. And I'm still probably going to have to take a few other things just to kind of weigh this down. And just like I said, make sure the shrimp is completely under the water line. I think I'm in shape there. Alright guys, be back in 40 minutes. Alright, so while the shrimp are cooking in the sous vide bath, time to season up these New York steaks. Now these look really nice. The only issue I have with them is they're not very thick. They're maybe like, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. This one's a little bit larger, but they're pretty thin. I would have wished they were a little bit thicker, closer to an inch. Because sometimes when you sous vide a steak and you try to put a hot sear on them, you can risk the sear being a little too intense. So I'll try to keep an eye on that. So you can season it with whatever kind of steak seasoning you like. I'm just using kosher salt and some coarse ground black pepper, the old standby. And you know how this works. We're just going to sprinkle salt and pepper on both sides of these steaks, and I'm going to also put these in some gallon Ziploc freezer bags, and they're going to go in the sous vide bath after the shrimp are done. I'm actually going to lower the temperature. The shrimp is cooking at 137. I'm going to cook these at 134, so I'm just going to literally have to turn off that machine for probably 4 or 5 minutes before we reach that temp. And then coarse ground black pepper. You can put garlic powder if you want. I'm just sticking with the old standby. Alright, so flip these over and I'll season the other side. If you got a sous vide machine, guys, you owe it to yourself to try to cook a steak. I'm telling you. Alright. That's where the sous vide machine really comes in great. Oh, my sous vide bath just hit 137. You know, when you put that frozen shrimp in, it tends to drop a few degrees. So we're up to temp, which is fine because a lot of people cook at like 132. I've seen some people go down as low as 130 on the temperature. I can already see the shrimp are starting to turn a little pinkish, meaning they're starting to cook. All right. Just like that, guys. Look. Not very complicated. I'm going to go ahead, put these in some gallon freezer bags as well. We'll be back in a minute. All right, here we are. 3 steaks per bag, seasoned with the salt and pepper. I'm going to throw these in the fridge. We got to wait another like 25 minutes till the shrimp are done. And yeah, then we'll throw these in. Be back in a minute. Alright guys, welcome back. We're at 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Alright, time to remove the shrimp. So I did get creative. I got a couple things here. Like I said, you don't want to squish the shrimp, but you definitely want to have something that you can use to make sure you keep everything under the water line. So let's get these out. You can see they've changed color. The butter's all melted. They look more like shrimp now. I'm going to turn this off. We want that to drop down to 134. All right, here it is, right out of the sous vide bath. You can definitely see everything looks fully cooked. Now what I want to do is stop the cooking process. We're going to put it in some ice water. All right, so it's these shrimp are still warm. They're still kind of cooking. So I got a pot here. I put some cold tap water in. I'm just going to submerge this shrimp. And then I'm going to stop the cooking process by pouring some ice. Just like that. So we want this to cool completely. So like you could do this a day ahead of time, 2 days ahead of time. I've done it several hours ahead of time. I'm just going to stick this whole thing in the fridge and we'll get the steaks out. We'll start cooking those. Those will take 2 hours. That'll allow this enough time for these shrimp to cool down. When you're having a shrimp cocktail, it's supposed to be cold, not warm shrimp. So this is perfect. That's why I like doing the shrimp first so they can chill out in the fridge while the steaks cook. So I'll throw this in the fridge, we'll get the steaks out, we'll throw those in. Be back in a second. Alright, my sous vide bath has hit 134 degrees, actually 134.2, but the minute I put these steaks in, it'll drop a little bit. So these are a little more forgiving. I'm going to set the timer for 2 hours just because they're not very thick and they're obviously not frozen. But I mean, you can go 4 hours easy. If they're a little bit thicker, I would certainly recommend going another hour or 2 at least. And yeah, same type of deal here. Squeeze as much of the air out as you can. Leave one little pocket open. Have some tongs or something. I got a rack on the bottom too, just to ensure that we're getting some water circulation. These are a little bit more easy to keep under the water line, just because they're heavier. And we'll clip those on there. And we'll do the same thing here. And then really the only thing left to do now, guys, is wait for them to be finished cooking and finish them off with a hot sear. This could be done any number of ways. You could throw it on a gas grill, a charcoal grill, cast iron pan, just something really hot, you know, 500 degrees, just for 45 seconds to a minute on each side, just to, you know, because they're gonna, after you dry them off real well, I'll show you the whole process. That's it. I'm going to use these tongs here, kind of help weight everything down. Let's see here. There we go. And like I said, just make sure everything's under the water line. Let me grab my phone here. I already set, let's see. Two hours. Alright, so now this is a great thing about sous vide cooking. I can go do other things. The shrimp are chilling in the fridge. These are cooking in a sous vide bath. All I need to do is a quick sear when they're done, and yeah, dinner will be served. Monica's going to make some corn on the cob. We're going to have a great meal here tonight to celebrate Memorial Day. Alright guys, we'll be back shortly. Alright, since I have a couple hours to kill until those steaks are done in the sous vide bath, time for a drink review. I'm having something from Point Brewery out of Stevens Point, Wisconsin. This is called the Great Outdoors. It says Adventure Ale, ale with natural flavor added. I didn't read that part until I got home. It's got me a little concerning. What exactly is natural flavor? It says it's 5% alcohol. I looked on the, there's no ingredients list, so, you know, I don't know. But I have had several beers from Stevens Point Brewery, and they've all been good. They make a good root beer, too, that when we go to the supper club here in Chippewa Falls, they have root beer on tap that Kyle usually gets from Stevens Point. That's really good. So I thought, oh, I never tried that, but natural flavors. Usually if you see something with natural flavors, that's like a code word for all kinds of weird stuff, chemicals, who knows what, because that covers like a wide variety of different things without being super specific. So I don't know if I need to be concerned or not. Typically I just like the basic stuff in my beer. Don't need no natural flavors. So this will be an adventure for Adventure Ale for me. So, alright guys, I appreciate you stopping by and watching my video. Doesn't smell like anything. very carbonated. Let's give this a shot. Okay, not very impressed with this one. I don't taste any hops. I don't taste any malt. It's very carbonated. It's very light. It tastes like a light beer, which is surprising because it's 5% alcohol. Usually the light beers are, 3 to 3.5, sometimes 4%. And the ones with the higher alcohol content towards 5 usually have a little more flavor. This is very bland. I mean, I guess it's drinkable on a hot day, but I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to have this one again. This is the first time I've had a beer from them where I was a little bit disappointed. Well, anyway, I only bought one. It's cold. I will enjoy it. Gonna relax here, enjoy my beer, and then in a couple hours, when the sous vide bath is done cooking those New York steaks, I'll take them out and we're gonna make a delicious meal tonight for dinner. So thanks again for stopping by, guys. Cheers. See you in a little bit. All right, we are at 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. It's been 2 hours. Like I mentioned, guys, with sous vide, you don't have to stress on it. If you're busy doing other things, let it go another hour. Let it go another 2 hours. It's not really going to make a big difference, especially with beef. These are pretty thin steaks, so 2 hours is fine. So let me get everything out of here. Now, here again, another great advantage of sous vide is we're not ready to eat this just quite yet. Monica's going to make some corn on the cob and some baked potatoes that we're going to have with these steaks and shrimp cocktail. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the shrimp. I'm going to let these cool down. I'm just going to keep them in the bag. Normally, before I put a sear on them, I'm going to take them out, dry them off with paper towels. But at this point, I'm just going to let them cool here for a second while I put this away, and I'm just going to throw them in the fridge and just kind of let them cool down. I think that'll help too because these are so thin. When I put that really hot sear on there, I want the steaks to be a little bit colder so they're not going to necessarily like overcook, because these are perfectly cooked right now. So if I put too long of a sear on there, it's actually going to cook the meat because they are so thin. So that's it, guys. Let me put all this stuff away, throw these in the fridge. We'll be back in a little bit. We're ready to throw them on the grill. Quick sear. Dinner will be served. See you in a little bit. All right, here we are. The steaks are out of the bag. You want to make sure you dry them off completely with some paper towels. I have them on the rack here just airing out. They've been in the fridge so they're cold. Let me go outside. We'll fire up my Monument grills. I'm going to use the infrared burner. Put a nice sear on these. Get you guys outside. Alright, here's my Monument Grill 605 Denali Pro. Oh, I love this grill. So I'm using the infrared burner and the 2 side burners on high. You'll see right here. I got this crisp cut grate, which I'm hoping will make some nice sear marks on that steak. Yeah, we're just going to heat this up, get nice and hot. Throw those steaks on there for maybe like 45 seconds, a minute on each side, and we'll be ready. All right, I've had this heated up for a few minutes with the lid closed. You can see my crisp cut grate. I'm just going to use some spray on canola oil. Just want to try to make these steaks not stick. I know this is going to flame everything up. There we go. And now we're just going to throw a couple on. Not real hard here. Not real complicated. Let's see. Just like that, guys. I think we could do this maybe for a minute on each side. I just want to get a good sear. Be back in a minute. I spin around maybe 50 seconds. Ooh, look at this. That's why the infrared burners And hey, Monument Grills, yeah, this 605 Denali Pro, man, okay, let's see. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right there. Literally just give this another minute or so, and yeah, I'll continue to make these steaks. All right, the last 2 steaks, let's see here. Yeah, look at this, guys. I like this great. Yeah, look at those grill marks, perfect. Just keeping these steaks close by, just stay warm. Yeah, there we are. Here they are. Look at these steaks. Look at the grill marks with that crisp cut grate from Monument Grills. Man, oh man. All right, let's cut into one of these. We'll get the shrimp cocktail out. Be back in a second. All right, guys, here we are. Let me just cut into this one right here. I'm just going to go right down the center because I don't know what else to do here. You guys see? That's what I'm talking about with sous vide cooking. Perfectly cooked steak. Ooh, it's hot. Alright, I'm going to cut some slices here, guys. Let me come across this way so you guys can see how delicious this looks. Yeah, cooking steak sous vide is the perfect way to cook a steak, guys. If you've never tried it,
then you're missing out.
Yeah, you're missing out. Look at that. I mean, come on. Perfectly cooked. Look at the sear on that. Oh, man, camera. I'm going to try a little piece with Monica.
Oh, my gosh. Wow, Eric.
Oh, man. I taste a little bit of shard
I love
fat.
the lines on it.
Yeah, the lines on it is good. That's thanks to that crisp cut grate that I got from Monument Grills.
Yeah.
And look, guys, I did a review of the Denali 605 Pro. I'll leave the link below. This thing's an awesome grill. Look at that. See, how else can you get an end piece that's still pink inside, still cooked? Alright. Let me get this plated up. We'll be back in a minute. Oh boy, look at this, guys. I cut up a couple steaks here. Look at this, perfectly cooked. Oh my goodness. Shrimp cocktail, some lemon, some cocktail sauce with a little bit of a horseradish kick. Oh man. I'm looking forward to this. Welcome back. I'm here with my family, my wife Monica, my son Kyle. So I cut up some steak. Let's try the steak first, Kyle. Try one of these little pieces here. Okay. Just try a little piece.
Oh man, you're in for a treat.
Now look, just salt and pepper. Sous vide cooked. Right there.
That's good.
Alright.
Yeah.
Another piece. Look, cooking sous vide.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I mean, look at the color. 134, guys. Perfect medium rare. Alright.
What would they cook it at if they wanted it to be medium? Not medium.
136, 137, I would think. Okay, I'm gonna squeeze a little lemon.
I already squeezed lemon on it.
Oh, you did? Okay. Let's grab a shrimp, Kyle. That's your horseradish sauce. Mom put a little horseradish extra in this one.
That's cocktail. I didn't put any horseradish in his.
Alright. Good. I want you to critique your shrimp. Is it crisp? It's not too mushy?
No.
Is it like...
It's juicy.
Good consistency?
Yeah, and I think it makes a difference that you cooked it in the butter and lemon, right? Because any of that fishy... Not that you don't like that fishy taste and the seafood taste in shrimp, but it took... You know what I'm saying? It took all of that out. It's really good. And it is crisp and it is juicy. What do you think, Kyle?
I think a little bit of baking soda and salt. Yeah, just sets it off. What do you think?
Oh, shouldn't, but I think it's, I I don't think you make shrimp very much, but I think this is probably the best one you've made since the first time you made it.
Yeah, well, hey, there you go.
It is really good. Really good.
Look, if you want to buy frozen shrimp, turn it into shrimp cocktail. Do it this way, guys,
You
with
can
a
try a
sous
little
vide
with
machine.
horseradish if you want.
It's not that spicy.
Uh-uh.
I'm going to try a little bit more of the perfectly cooked, medium rare beef. New York steaks. Look.
This is a true surf and turf.
Yeah. I love that. Kind of reminds me of going to like Bonanza or Ponderosa as a kid.
It's a great insert.
Yeah, great insert.
Yeah.
Over the infrared burner.
I was watching him cook it. Like I can see out the kitchen window when he's doing it, and
yeah,
he was having fun with it too.
Yeah, I almost did it on the grill outside with charcoal over the Weber kettle, you know, but
This was a good choice.
I think this just did a great job.
Probably easier to do that
Yeah,
too.
and it was way easy. I just turned the thing, turned a knob on, ignited it, let it warm up for 10 minutes. Man.
This is really good. Really good.
Any final words, Kyle?
Very good.
That's a lot coming from him. Not that you're not picky, but
You say that
when
every
you say
time.
something is really good, it's really good.
Anyway, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. If you liked the video, hit the like button. The logo on my shirt is the logo on the bottom of the screen. Please click on that. It allows you to subscribe my channel. I'd really appreciate if you did because it helps my channel grow. And I'll leave a link above below to my website, ericsmokingbbq.com. Go check it out. I got all my video recipes, photos, the whole bit.
Really good.
Yeah. And yeah.
You keep us well fed, my
Let's
dear.
do one more to the, since it's Memorial Day, to the vets that have
For those that have fallen for our
given
country.
the ultimate sacrifice to protect us and for us to enjoy this on a beautiful summer night here in Wisconsin. Yeah, cheers.
We owe you
Cheers.
a debt
Yeah.
of gratitude.
Always, guys. Proud American.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
So good.
Thank you again for stopping by. You got a sous vide machine? Do this. Steak and shrimp cocktail.
Yes.
Everyone will be impressed. I promise you. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.